The most misused peptide in the entire community, heavily marketed for its ability to change your facial appearance, grow thicker hair, Looksmaxx, whatever you want to call it. I'm of course talking about GHK-Cu. Everybody is using this stuff wrong industry-wide. I'm going to tell you what I've done for myself, what others are doing, and how you can avoid all the mistakes everybody is making. In this video, we're going deep on GHK-Cu, but before we get started, it's important to note a few things. Number one, I'm not a doctor. Nothing I say in this video should be misconstrued with any medical advice, and everything I go over here is for both science and your entertainment, and is only my personal anecdotal experience using GHK-Cu. Now, without any further ado, let's break down the biggest mistakes everybody's making. If you're like me and you're on Peptide social media, you've seen all the videos where everybody's acting like GHK-Cu is going to sharpen your jawline, add a couple inches to your cheekbones, and make you this dark tan, handsome machine of a human being. And it's all done by these research companies that want to just use it to sell more peptides. While GHK-Cu has a ton of aesthetic benefits, it's important to understand what's possible in the realm of reality and what's just useless marketing ploys designed to sell you more peptides. Misconception number one is that GHK-Cu is this master collagen machine, that it's going to just add this layer of perfect complexion to your skin. While it's really helpful at improving your skin quality, GHK-Cu has a very mild collagen production. It's not really the main driver in its productivity. Think of GHK-Cu less as the builder, more as the repairman. GHK flips the switch on over 4,000 genes in the body. Its main job is to go in, find the damaged, broken, or even dangerous cells in the body, knock those guys out, and bring new ones in. It's not a new layer of skin. It's a biological reset on the skin you've already got. When it does come to collagen, GHK is really effective at targeting bad or damaged collagen. The stuff that sits on the skin and just kind of looks old and damaged. Mainly we're talking about things like wrinkles, scarring, or any sort of skin defect. This process is called, bear with me, metalloproteinasis, which is the removal of bad protein cells. The main way to look at GHK is to use it to relay the foundation so you can build a nice big house, not the person who's actually building the nice big house. Does that make sense? We're looking to erase the mistakes from the past to get ourselves back to the break-even point, not to get ourselves from the break-even point to really good. GHK also acts as a new line of internal plumbing called VEGF, which is a way to transport microscopic blood vessels. One of the biggest reasons our skin tissue ages is because the cells are just starving. They have no way of receiving the nutrients they need. Using things like GHK help ensure that those pathways are intact for your skin cells to be connected and receive the nutrients that you're consuming. All right, now that we understand the mechanism of action, how this stuff actually works, let's go over how everyone's using it wrong. First and foremost, for most people, you can't just use it by yourself and get these crazy aesthetic benefits that everyone's showing online. You need to pair it with things that actually help build on the new foundation you've laid. The most important when it comes to the skin and hair benefits we're seeing all over the internet is hydrolyzed collagen. If we're going to spend all our time removing damaged and broken collagen, we need to replenish it with some fresh, new collagen. That's how we start to see some of the aesthetic benefit. The hydrolyzed collagen are the bricks we need to build our new house. The GHK is just the transport trucks that brought the new bricks there and took the old ones out. Next is vitamin C. This is so overlooked in every GHK protocol, and I don't understand why. Vitamin C is the cement that holds all of the bricks together. When it comes to anything where you want collagen to bind and new fresh cells to be exposed, you need vitamin C to hold those connections together. Now, very important distinction. If you are using topical GHK, do not use vitamin C cream with your topical GHK. Those two are going to interact poorly and you're going to negate both of their effects. This can only be done via subcutaneous injection or oral supplement for the vitamin C. Do not misconstrue this and mix the two creams on the face at the same time. I personally prefer subcutaneous injection for all of the treatments I do. I don't do much of the creams, but I know this is really popular with GHK. So if you are going to do vitamin C, make sure it is not topical while you're doing the GHK cream, or just do them at different times of the day. You're also going to want to afford iron supplementation at the same time as your GHK. These two fight for the same pathway. You're going to end up blocking one of the two. Now, this last one, arguably the most important on the list, and I'll tell you why here in a second, is zinc. Here's nearly everybody's problem with GHK-Cu, and it's why they don't get the results they're looking for. It's that they are overdosing. I have said this time and time again. Nearly every protocol you will find in any forum, any doctor, whoever, is wrong. Everybody is telling you to do 2 milligrams subcutaneous a day. That is a gross overdose for anyone who is looking purely for aesthetic benefit. Now, if you're using GHK for some of its ligament healing benefits or internal mechanism benefits, fine. But if you are using it to increase the quality of your skin and your hair, 2 milligrams is going to do more harm than good. The reason I bring up zinc is GHK and zinc exist on the same biological seesaw. So when there's too much of one, it excretes the other. So when people do too much GHK, their brain dumps their zinc. If you understand anything about how neurocognitive function works, that's a scary sight. Users experience things like lethargy, a weakened immune system, and even adverse skin reactions, damaging their skin quality instead of helping their skin quality, sometimes referred to as the copper uglies, as you'll see online. So now you're spending all this money trying to improve your well-being, and you end up doing more harm than good. Dosing is critical when it comes to GHK. I myself have always experimented with 1 milligram a day, and even that is a higher dose, but I supplement it with 25 to 50 milligrams of zinc per day. This balancing act will make sure that you're not dumping either of the two, even if you're doing a little bit higher dose. But anyone who is out there doing 2 milligrams, you have been lied to. Switch your dose immediately. If you're someone who's purely looking for aesthetic maintenance, I've seen a lot more success with people doing 500 micrograms than anybody who's doing 2 milligrams. And if that's not enough, you can always go up. But too many people are starting high because they want the results now and fast, and they end up hurting themselves along the way. The next supplement you're going to want to add is hyaluronic acid, which is especially adept at keeping the skin hydrated and youthful, especially when going through treatments like this. When it comes to GHK, there's a few different thought processes when it comes to when's the best time of day to use it. I've personally been through 4 rounds of GHK. I've tried it just in the morning, I've tried it just at night, I've tried it at night and in the morning. And from my personal experience, as well as what I'm seeing is the anecdotal experience for most users across the board, is that evening only seems to have the highest yield, especially when you're pairing it with the other things we talked about. The optimal schedule I've been sticking to: hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, collagen all in the morning, GHK-Cu at nighttime. The reason for this is you don't want to do these things at the same time because they're going to compete on similar pathways. The best thing you can do is space this stuff out. There's 2 reasons I do this. Number 1 is I don't want the GHK-Cu competing with the absorption of any of the other things I'm taking and possibly negating it. Reason number 2 is collagen synthesis is most effective at nighttime. So I want to make sure that I have got my internal collagen plumbing system working at its peak at nighttime. One of the most heated debates in the industry right now is whether or not it's okay to use GHK copper mixed in the Glow or the Clo blend, which is adding GHK to the same vial as BPC 157, TB 500, and then with the Clo being an addition of KPV. The argument is that each of the different compounds has such a different pH level that over time, they start to degrade themselves, which is technically true. Here's the way it works. GHK likes to sit at a 7 pH rating. The other 3 compounds in these blends are not a 7 pH. The higher and lower pHs are always going to attack each other, with the higher one usually coming out on top and dissolving the other for its own survival. Typically, 503A and 503B compounding pharmacies will add in what are called buffer agents, among other things, to keep the peptides from degrading each other. Now, what scares me for a lot of the peptide industry is people are ordering off of random research chemical websites, and I will say this time and time again, the number one thing that is going to impact the efficacy and the safety of your peptide use is whether or not you are ordering from a licensed 503A or 503B compounding pharmacy made in the United States. It seems like a lot of people are trying to save money by going to these research chem sites, not realizing that they're really just lighting their money on fire because most of the time they're not going to get the desired result they're looking for, or they're going to get an adverse reaction because there's no sterility testing when it comes to these things. So I cannot express this enough. If you're going to follow through with any sort of peptide therapy, it is imperative that you use a 503A or a 503B compounding pharmacy. Otherwise, in my opinion, it's not really worth the risk, nor is it worth the cash that you're going to spend to not even really get the benefit you're looking for. Now, that being said, even with those pH buffering agents, you still only have about 20 to 25 days before the Glow and Clo blend have degraded each other and the potency is down by anywhere from like 30 to 40%. So my personal opinion is I have always seen better results by injecting them all individually than I have by blending them together. My findings seem to be pretty conclusive with what the rest of the community as well as some of the science says out there, but this type of stuff is changing all the time. These conversations weren't happening a year ago when these blends were starting to become more and more popular. So this is an ever evolving process. So if you want to stay in the know on the most applicable peptide knowledge that exists on the internet today from my own experiments, as well as the hours and hours of research that I'm putting into the online forums, different research papers, and what the community is saying, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and leave me a comment in the comment section telling me what you guys want to see more of. My job is always going to be bringing you the most up-to-date peptide information for science and your entertainment. Till next time.